I would tell myself to stay as far away from drugs as possible. Make sure to stay grounded with your family, and just don't give up. Cause a year ago, I was finna quit this shit. So I think the main advice I give myself is just to not give up. And keep striving and stay sober.
On December 8th, 2019, news breaks that another young rapper is gone. Juice WRLD, real name Jared Higgins, has died of a drug overdose after suffering a seizure at Chicago's Midway Airport. He was just 21 years old.
Well, the music world tonight remembering the short life of up-and-coming rapper Juice WRLD. His real name is Jared Higgins. He was just 21 years old. Police say he suffered some sort of medical emergency this morning at Chicago's Midway Airport. They haven't said yet exactly what caused his death. Higgins was named the top new artist at the 2019 Billboard Music Awards back in May.
For many, it was another tragic story in a genre too familiar with death. But for those who listened closely to his lyrics and watched his interviews, they knew Juice had been telling us everything about his struggles with drug addiction.
If you need some help, I gotta admit myself. I'm on these drugs, feel like I can't save myself. Sometimes I wanna take myself, break myself, so I can reshape myself. Nobody ever felt the pain I felt, so I share it. Put it out to the whole world, I ain't embarrassed.
Anthony Jared Higgins was raised in the suburbs of Chicago by a single mother who worked hard to keep him away from trouble. She was strict and deeply religious. Rap music or any other kind of secular music was banned in their house.
As long as I can remember. My mom didn't used to let me listen to certain stuff.
But can you really keep so much from a teenager in the age of the internet? Soon, Juice found his own influences through rock bands like Blink-182 and rappers like Eminem. By high school, he was already recording songs on his iPhone and uploading them to SoundCloud under the name Juice the Kid. His early tracks were unpolished, amateur in quality, but the pain in his voice, the sadness in his lyrics, and the rawness of his thoughts were already there. Eventually, he rebranded himself as Juice WRLD, a name inspired by Tupac's 1992 film Juice.
Yeah, how did you get the name Juice WRLD anyway?
I had the haircut. I had that Pac haircut. Oh, back when I was a freshman in high school. And then I was obsessed with that movie.
With the deep part.
Yeah. I was obsessed with that movie too. Juice movie, yeah.
In 2018, his life changed. Juice WRLD became famous after releasing Lucid Dreams, a sad but catchy song about heartbreak. It used a sample from Sting's old song, Shape of My Heart, and quickly became a hit. That one track didn't just make him a star, it made him the voice of a new generation that was open about pain and emotions. But as the money and success came in, so did his addiction problems, because more money meant easier access to harder and dangerous drugs.
It's like a fine line between having an influence and letting the drugs do you instead of you doing the drugs. Cause it's so easy to get overconsumed and shit. I mean, I kind of lucked out because I did know the fine line between just taking something to come up with some ideas or getting the vibe versus that being lifestyle. It's a balance to the shit.
Juice WRLD was always open about his drug use. He didn't hide it, he rapped about it in nearly every song and talked about it in interviews. Early on, he said drugs helped him deal with anxiety and emotional pain. Music was his escape, but drugs became a crutch. He started using young, taking pills and sipping lean while still in high school. What began as a way to feel better slowly turned into a dangerous habit he couldn't control.
Really just becoming a healthier person. That's obviously an obstacle, but I'm getting there, so. It was something that I was into early, low-key, due to music. I was a music head, so in 6th grade, 7th grade, I'm hearing songs about sipping lean. Those are the real influential years, I feel especially for a boy. Finding out who your role models are, what you like, basketball, football. That's when you start kind of choosing the dreams you want to chase, damn near. So 6th, 7th grade, I was hooping, playing baseball. I was good at both at the time. But I was also freestyling, and I was really into music. So my family putting me on all this different music, Future, Gucci, all these niggas talking about drugs. The first song I ever heard by Future was Ain't No Way Around It. The second song I've ever heard by Future is Dirty Sprite. And that had me wanting to sip lean at 11, 12 years old, bro. I didn't know if that was what I was really finna be doing.
After Mac Miller's death in 2018, Juice WRLD made a public promise to get clean. He said he didn't want to end up another statistic, but addiction doesn't care about promises.
I went through like 3 Mac Miller phases. You know, he was one of the main artists I was listening to. Man, I mean, that shit kind of fucked my head up.
Yes.
In situations like these, all we could do like is learn from, you know, the mistakes that people make and better yourself and let them live through you. All you can do is learn. I hate a motherfucker like, oh, he just died, so we gotta pull up some tumbling for him. Like, you gonna end up the same, you know what I'm saying, the same situation. Like, motherfuckers gotta learn from the mistakes, like the fatal mistakes that people make. I mean, who wants to have another casualty?
The more Juice WRLD shared his pain in his music, the more fans connected with him. Many of them hoped he would get help. But in one interview, he said he didn't really believe in therapy and felt that in the black community, people might see you as weak for going. Over time, his lyrics got darker, and it was clear he was trying to handle everything on his own.
I don't know how I feel about it though.
Therapy?
Like the whole concept of it. I don't know. Like,
it's the same thing as you telling your homie you want to talk to me. Is this fine? Is this going? It's find somebody to talk to, baby.
Yeah, I feel like some bad therapists probably ruined it for a lot of them. Cause some of them, I feel like they don't even got themselves together.
Yeah.
And they kind of do sessions with people to like, damn, at least I ain't that bad, or at least I ain't, to make themselves feel better. So like, I don't know, therapy is shit funny with me.
I do want to ask a question about, you know, rappers, you know, and like, do you feel like they underestimate the power they have to help eliminate stigmas like mental health in the black community?
Of course. Mental health in the black community is, that's like a issue. I mean, a lot of people, I got homies that you know, they come to me now saying they think they got anxiety. But I know back in the day, especially the area that I used to hang with them at, they come to their mama telling them they got anxiety. She gonna be, what? We going to church on Sunday.
Yeah.
And that's it. Or that's the devil in you. We going to church on, or, you know, they go to their dad tell them smoke a blunt. You know what I'm saying? So like, it's a big issue that's not touched. And that's kind of just sitting there, and people damn near afraid to talk about it and all type of shit.
On December 8th, 2019, Juice WRLD and his entourage board a private jet headed for Chicago's Midway Airport. According to multiple reports, there were 10 people on board, including his longtime girlfriend. As the plane landed, federal agents were waiting. Authorities had been tipped off that there were firearms and drugs on board. During the search, Juice WRLD reportedly swallowed multiple pills in an attempt to hide them. Moments later, he collapsed. He started shaking on the floor, and a federal agent administered Narcan, an emergency treatment for opioid overdoses. Juice briefly regained consciousness, but it was too late. He was rushed to the hospital, where he was pronounced dead.
New details now on the sudden death of rapper Juice WRLD. Police saying drugs, guns, and prescription codeine were all found on the 21-year-old's plane just moments before his medical emergency. Alex Perez is at Chicago Midway Airport with more. Good morning, Alex.
Hey, good morning, Robin. This all unfolded at the part of the airport where private planes land. We now know officials were working from a tip when they met the plane. This morning, we're learning more about the night rapper Juice WRLD died just a short time after his private jet landed at Chicago's Midway Airport. We now know investigators working on a tip had actually met the aircraft to search it for firearms. Law enforcement, along with a police dog, discovering in the luggage 6 prescription bottles of suspected liquid codeine, 3 guns, and 41 bags of marijuana reportedly weighing 70 pounds. TMZ obtaining this image of what they claim is the luggage. As investigators searched the plane, the 21-year-old rapper, whose real name was Jared Higgins, began to have a medical emergency, seizures.
Get an ambulance inside the Atlantic Airport. They got a guy seizuring in here.
According to TMZ, the rapper may have ingested several painkillers in an attempt to hide them from authorities. Authorities telling us they administered 2 doses of Narcan, a drug which can counteract an overdose, before Higgins was rushed from the airport to a hospital where he later died.
The Cook County medical examiner ruled the death an accidental overdose of oxycodone and codeine.
No, but I love all my fans. I love all my supporters. I can't say that and stress that and express that enough. Y'all help me through the shit I go through. I deal with anxiety and depression and all that shit. Just because you got money don't mean that shit don't solve nothing.
Money is the answer to certain problems, but it is not the answer to those type of problems. For anybody going through anything that they're going through, know that I go through the same shit. Money has not changed that. Like I said, I am still the same mother. Money has not changed that. But y'all help me through my issues, and I hope that my music helps y'all through y'all issues and everything that you may go through.